Hey gang, we're going to work on another strategy here called traditional multiplication. This is probably the method that most of your parents learned. I know it's the one I learned in school, and some of you might find this easier than partial products, which we've learned in the past. So I'm going to go through this very slow. I'm going to start off with a few really simple problems, gradually build up to a 2-digit times a 1-digit, and then ultimately end the video with a 2-digit times a 2-digit problem. I'll give you a few chances in the video to pause and try to solve it yourself, as I've done in other videos, but in this one, just heads up, I'm going to do that in a few spots. So you might want to make sure you have paper and pencil, or something, some kind of scrap paper, so that you can sketch a few of these problems out. So what I'm talking about is when you're encountered with problems ultimately that are going to look like this, right? 7 times 6. Now, earlier this year, we already looked at this, and we said this would be a way to represent 7 groups of 6, or 6 groups of 7. We looked at this as an array, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I filled in this whole array, we want to know what is the total number that we're going to get when we fill in that array, right? That's what 7 times 6 really is. Well, this is a basic fact, so this one you really don't need a strategy for. I'm just showing you this one so you can see what happens. When I multiply 7 times 6, I'm going to get an answer of 42. Well, in that number 42, it's important to realize that there is a 4 in the tens place and a 2 in the ones place. Because unlike partial products where we were multiplying the numbers based on their value, in this one we're going to multiply every number as if it was in the ones place. And you'll see what I mean as I get a little bit further into the video. Just keep in mind that obviously when you write the number 42, because 7 groups of 6 is more than the number that can be represented in the ones place, you're going to see numbers in the tens place, possibly even in the hundreds place. But you'll see, and I'm going to talk about that as I compare the difference between this method and partial products. And let's look at another one. We'll go with 26 times 4. Now with partial products, we were multiplying 4 times 20, with a 2 in the tens place, and 4 times 6. Well, this one is a little bit different. We're going to start over here by multiplying the ones place, 4 times 6, and then we're going to multiply 4 times 2. Now, this is why some of you may prefer this method, because maybe you're not as good as multiplying extended facts, doing the 4 times 20. So for you, this method might be a little bit easier. So we're going to start with 4 times 6, get 24. So I'd put down my 4 here. And like some of the addition algorithms you learned, you're going to carry that 2 over to the tens place because that's where it belongs. And we're not going to write it down in our answer because we still have to multiply 4 times 2. So now we would take 4 times 2, this 4 times 2, and get 8, but we need to add the 2 tens that are already up here. So 8 plus 2 is 10, and my answer, 26 times 4, would be 104. Now you might be thinking, wait, what just happened? Well, when I multiplied 4 times 2 and got 8, plus the 2 that's up here, that would be 10. So really, I put a 0 in the tens place, and I carried my 1 to the hundreds, but there was nothing to hold it up, so it fell all the way down into my answer. 26 times 4 is 104. I'm going to work another one out, but I won't put all the arrows in, so it's going to be a little bit easier to see. And this time we'll go with 43 times 6. So I'm going to start again by multiplying 6 times 3, get 18, put the 8 in the ones place and a 1 in the tens place. Then I do 6 times 4, not 6 times 40 here, just treat every number as if it was in the ones place. 6 times 4, get 24, plus the 1 that's already up there is 25. So I put down my 5, I carry my 2, there's nothing to hold it up, so 43 times 6, 258. Now I'm going to work out one more, and then I'll give you a chance to try one on your own. 39 times 4. Okay. 4 times 9 is 36. Put down my 6 and carry my 3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus the 3 that's up here would be 15. So I put down my 5, carry my 1 to the hundreds place, nothing to hold it up. 39 times 4, 156. Right, here's one for you. You can, once I get the problem up here, and we'll do 73 times 8. You can pause the video, try to work this one out, and then I'll show you the answer in a second, then we'll move into some double digit times double digit. Okay, you should have had a chance to pause the video. I'm going to work this one out for you. Starting with 8 times 3 is 24. Carry my 2 into the tens place. 24, the 2 would be in the tens place. 8 times 7 is 56. Plus 2 is 58. Put my 8, carry my 5, and eventually you don't have to do this carrying the 5. You'll realize that 5 would just go in the hundreds place, and your answer is 584. And now we're going to look at some problems that are slightly different. 32 times 26. Now in this one, you're basically going to do the same exact thing to start the problem, meaning you're going to multiply 6 times 2 and then 6 times 3, and then I'll talk about what to do with the 2 down here. So I'm going to start this one up. Go 6 times 2 is 12. Put down my 2 just like we've been doing. Carry my 1. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus that 1 is 19. Right? So 32 times 26 cannot possibly be 192. My answer has to be way bigger than that. So that's a sign that I'm not done. I am, however, done with this 6 in the ones place. So I'm going to put a placeholder 0 in the second part of my answer to show that everything is going to remain lined up. Right now I'm going to hop over to the 2 in 26, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to multiply 2 times 2 and 2 times 3. And when I multiply 2 times 2 and get 4, that 4 is going to go right below the 2 in the tens place and keep everything lined up. Because really what I'm doing is 20 times 2, and I'm getting 40, and here's my 40. You can see that would be part of my answer. Then 2 times 3 is 6, and I add these 2 up just like I did with partial products. 2, 13, 832. So 32 times 26 is 832. Now I know that probably looked a little confusing, so let me work one more of those out for you without all the arrows and see if I can use the colors here to help you figure out where the numbers are supposed to go. And we'll do 46 times 17. I'm going to start 7 times 6 is 42, so 2 in the ones place, 4 in the tens place. 7 times 4 is 28, plus this 4, so 28 plus 4 would be 32. And now I'm going to switch colors here. I'm done with the ones place, so that reminds me that I need my placeholder 0 down here. And I'm going to move over to 1 times 6. Get 6. 1 times 4 is 4, and now I add these 2 numbers up, just like in partial products. 2, 8, 7. 46 times 17 is 782. Okay, here's one more. 36 times 24. You could pause the video here as soon as I'm done talking. Try to work this one out yourself. If you need to unpause it to watch, I'll get you started, and then you can always pause it again and see ultimately what the final answer is going to be. So go ahead and pause the video and try to work it out. Okay, you should have had a chance to pause the video. I'm going to get you started here. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry my 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. So that would be step 1. If you want to pause the video again before I move on to the second part to see if you could maybe figure that out, you can pause it and keep working it out. If not, I'm going to keep going here and see if you would be correct. And I'm done with the ones place, so I circle that as a reminder to put my placeholder 0 down below. 2 times 6 is 12, and I carry my 1, so I'm done with this part. I need to carry another 1 up here. 2 times 3 is 6, plus that 1 is 7. 4, 6, 864. 36 times 24 is 864. Now, I know this is a totally new skill for some of you, and you might need to review this. That's why I made a video. Feel free to watch it again if you need to, or back up to some of the partial products videos and find the algorithm or the strategy that works for you, and just keep practicing and practicing until you have it mastered. This should do good. As always, refer to the video if you need any help, or feel free to ask me, and I'll see you guys in a bit.